The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here's Brandon.
Hey, happy Christmas Eve to you listeners who celebrate the holiday either in a religious or a commercial form. And we have got a timeless holiday classic to discuss. But first, let me welcome back to the show author and perhaps my podcast's greatest gift of all, Greg McGoon.
Hello. I'm back.
He's
for
back.
Christmas music fun.
Yes.
Who doesn't love Christmas music?
So 8 Days of Christmas was the lead single from 2001's fourth and penultimate studio album of the same name from Destiny's Child. The group also released their Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer rendition as a single, and the album was certified platinum, selling over 1 million copies, though this song's first appearance was on a deluxe edition of their debut album, The Writings on the Wall, a year prior, as well as the B-side for the single for Independent Women Part 1 that was on the Charlie's Angels soundtrack. Yeah. They did some other Christmas songs. Appearing on that are Silent Night, Little Drummer Boy, White Christmas, Do You Hear What I Hear, O Holy Night, and Opera of the Bells. Greg, are you familiar with these Destiny's Child Christmas tunes?
I know I listened to them back when they first came out. I was a huge Destiny's Child fan. I actually, when their Survivor album came out, I was I even a preteen? When did that album even come out? I was just 2000.
It was 2000. No? It was around this time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in high school. I had to have been because I went to our local music store at midnight for that CD to buy it in line. Oh, wow. I waited in line to get that CD of their Survivor thing. So I was definitely a Destiny's Child super fan back in the day, and then that kind of faded over time. But at the time,
2001.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a freshman in high school. Definitely. Yeah. I vividly remember waiting. It was there's little music. It's not there anymore, obviously, but I say obviously, people know my town. It was right off the corner of Indian Hill and Arrow, I think. Anyway. So yeah, I waited in line at midnight for that album. So this came out then after, well, technically the song would have come out at around the same time ish, because if it was a movie. So yes, I heard the song back then. Didn't remember it until you brought it up, and this music video is so ridiculous. It just cracks me up because what they are saying and what they are doing, the juxtaposition of the two things, the contrast is so ridiculous. It just is hilarious.
Yeah, it's weird. Before we dive into it, I have a general music question for you because I thought about this. My brain goes in these weird places. Does a Christmas album count in your album canon? Is it a sidestep or an offshoot? Or is it to be considered your direct follow-up to a previous effort? Take with it all the artistic merit as you would full originals. This is the direction we went. This is where does the Christmas album just sit on the outskirts as a thing? Or is it, because they called it, when I was looking and researching, the fourth album by Destiny's Child, but I'm is it the fourth? Because people skip the Christmas albums. Now everyone's jumping in. But where you're if I'm going to listen to them all in order, do you go to the Christmas album? Does it count?
I mean,
for the studio albums, it's real weird because it's a bunch of covers, a cover album, a couple originals. I'm just trying to think of that. How do people view that?
I mean, it's a seasonal thing. So going to my queen of life, Kelly Clarkson, who just released a new Christmas album. That's her second Christmas album. But I don't think, I wouldn't put her two Christmas albums in her list of albums. I would list off all of her albums and say she also has Wrapped in Red, and now Christmas is coming, like her new album. So I would treat them as like, I wouldn't go like in order unless somebody like specifically asked me like name her albums in order, but then I would still put a little asterisk being like, well, she did this one and then she ended up doing a Christmas one here, but then her next album came at blah blah blah. So I would kind of put it as a little like asterisk in the timeline as something that existed in there, but I would treat it as like a subset because I don't really listen to Kelly Clarkson's Christmas albums or Celine Dion's Christmas album until like seasonal times. So Destiny's Child would be in the same vein, I think, for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, it's just weird space that it takes up. But so it's the song is based on 12 Days of Christmas, but it's 8 days like Hanukkah, but it never mentions Hanukkah. It's all Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
It's
like the only lyric in the whole thing, really. It's like Christmas. Right. It feels like Christmas.
Doesn't it feel like Christmas? Or maybe they're trying to say, hey, folks, Hanukkah feels like Christmas too, but they didn't get the message across so well.Maybe that's...
I mean, in the video, there's no like alluding to that at all either. It's just them and their various kind of not even scandalous. They're just kind of sexy Santa costumes. I mean, like in Destiny's Child fashion of like having the three like separate but same looks, but they're all like variations of the Santa costume. So
well, they lock up a store that looks like a Disney gift shop inside.
Yeah, it's children's like toy store. Yeah, that's what cracked me up is like they're going, it says open too, like they literally go into an open store that's apparently empty and then turn the sign around to closed, and then like the two employees that maybe, I guess they're employees, I don't know, wrapping gifts, just kind of like stare blankly, like close up of them at, I presume, the three women running into the store closing it, but don't stop what they're doing or say anything.
One lady's really excited about Destiny's Child being there. She's like, there's like, they use the same shot, but like she's like, and there's like singing by her. But I think they're collecting toys for the kids to come in and open under the tree at the store. Like,
but why? Like the kids would have more fun doing the running around the store part.
But while also like getting all close and grinding with dudes while doing this. Like
and of course their product placement moment of their Destiny's Child Barbies that were available at the time.
Yes, there was a Destiny's Child Barbies.
Early, like start off right away with that close up of like, look at our Barbies. Yeah.
Blowing bubbles everywhere, but like it's like these kids are waiting outside to watch like Beyonce and Kelly like grinding with guys. Like they're trying to shop, and these guys are like, "What's up, girl? What's up? What you?" They're like,
and meanwhile they're like picking out like puzzles and random board games, talking about how like their boy that they love got them a Mercedes and what's it, like jeans and a shirt, and I'm trying to remember what all the things were that they got on their 8 days.
But you kids are getting something off the dollar wall.
Yep. But they're but to tie this into last holiday, but like their number one gift though was quality time. Quality time is what they gave, and isn't that the greatest gift? And in a sense, that's what last holiday gave to Queen Latifah. I mean, she did get a lot of money out of it, but still. So yeah, like the greatest. But like the Mercedes was number 2, but number 1. Like fellas or anybody in a relationship out there, quality time is your number 1 gift. So Mercedes, put that on the back burner. And ladies, if you don't get, or anybody don't get a Mercedes, blame that song, because your men thought they can get away with just giving you some time.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. But this actually, it falls into the line of like the hip hop, the theme of like a lot of hip hop songs and R&B and stuff back then was like basically like naming off things you own or can buy with a lot of money. Like that was a lot of like the Cash Money Millionaires, the No Limit. It was like all their lyrics were about what they own, and this is like the Christmas song fitting perfectly into that culture of the time, because that's what I mean. It was like the bling and all that stuff. It was like look at all these things I got. Well, that was the lyrical direction that things were going in. Like, look, I'm flashy and famous, and I replaced my teeth with gold or something back in the day. But
Yeah.
that's the substance of a lot of the lyrics. That Destiny's Child's like other songs, they weren't all that, but the direction of this song fits in with that mold.
Yeah, well, I mean, it tried to blend the like both the wealth aspect and the sweet and sensitive in its own way.
Right.
I guess by like putting quality to, I mean, it's kind of almost like even though it's not a Christmas song, the like Ariana Grande song like Seven Rings or whatever, it's like the antithesis of that song, which is like her song Seven Rings, like I want it, I bought it, like for ourselves. She's talking about like all the diamonds and the bling. Meanwhile, this like Christmas one is like my boy got me diamond rings and this and that. So it's like it's her, like Ariana Grande's is more of like I'll get my own stuff because I can, and this song is like the person I love got me all this stuff for Christmas. Meanwhile, they're shopping for children apparently, or stealing for children, or I don't know. Did they rent out the toy store? I mean,
it's a conflict of song interests, video interests, attire interest, like a lot of things mixing that weren't really going together, but they do in a way.
But it worked. My favorite moment though is at the very end. They're like sitting in front of a tree, and then it's like right before they all hug, or right like before or after they all hug. I think it's right before. Like Beyonce, like basically like hugs like a gold like bauble ornament, and like she just turns to it and like smiles, like holding it next to her head. Or like, you really love that gold like bauble like in your hands right there, like just big smile, like just like holds it next to the tree, like it's on hanging on the tree. Just like go look at that little moment. I don't know why it just stuck out to me at the very end. I was like, why did she just turn her head to like touch this ornament and smile next to it? Like leans in and smiles next to this just like big round gold orb ornament, like okay. And then they're all like hugging and laughing with the kids around them. So I mean, it does feel like Christmas, I guess. Like the
carousel
song is,
outside, yeah.
I mean, that's very sweet. Don't know why that was in there, like the carousel in there, because you don't see them go to it. It just cuts to like them on the carousel, then back in the store grinding on men, and then it's just it's actually it just made me reminded me of I don't know if you've watched the other two on HBO, that TV show.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So like just the shorthand is basically it's almost like a parody or satire of kind of like a Justin Bieber type character, like a child,
okay.
Like but there's a scene where like he's still like 14, 15 or whatever, he's young, and they set him up for a music video, and then one of the spoilers, one of the backup dance can't be in there, so the sister tries to jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
And she finds out that the dancing is like grinding on her brother, and it's just weird. So that TV show, when I'm sitting there with like kids, but instead of like the kids being the one like getting an adult grinding on them, it's like kids watching like adults grind on each other. So it just kind of odd parallel, but it just made me like momentarily think of that while watching this video again, going like, this is so bizarre. But I guess that is just a common thing that happens,
right?
In hip hop videos, like. But then I feel like hip hop videos and like, or those style of videos back then used to have like children, like skilled children, like break dancers and other things in those videos. When that there was also some of that more. And again, we say like grinding like it's really inappropriate. It's not in this video. It's not like they're doing anything like over it, but it is more romantic, sensual. That it would be weird if you wouldn't do it at a elementary school dance, then like that should be like your thing. And I wouldn't want to dance with somebody the way they did in that video at like a middle school dance.
Right.
But again, they weren't doing anything like out of line or anything weird. It just was just odd under the circumstances.
No, it's not lewd. It's just like to those guys in this video, know your room, know the room. Yeah, like it's kind of like, you guys, let's cool it. Let's wait till we get done with this toy thing, and then we'll go party or something. Yeah.
Like I really want to know what the concept meeting was for this video, though. Just like why they thought setting it in a children's toy store was fitting. Like again, I get it, but then why then add the men with them
Mhm.
but then they're singing about the men, so that part makes sense. So the children's toy store just doesn't, unless it's supposed to be like the feeling that you get from this relationship is the feeling that a child gets on Christmas morning, and that like that sense of like playful wonder. Like maybe they were trying to do that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do know the person behind the director is Sanaa Hamri, who she's currently directing Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. She's done episodes of American Horror Story, Empire, Shameless, Elementary, Glee, and music videos for Mariah Carey, other Destiny's Child music videos. And she's the director of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2. So she doesn't really have like a heavy hip hop influence aside from her Destiny's Child stuff. Her Mariah Carey stuff wasn't very hip hop stuff. So I'm just kind of.
I feel like we're playing a little too loose with the word hip hop for this song.
Yeah.
I mean, like just because like I think they did it, there's really nothing hip hoppy about this song, nor even the dancing in it.
True.
Because there isn't really dancing. It's just them like playfully running through a toy store aisles and then close-ups of them with their men. So it's
pop. It's pop. Yeah, it's more pop. I think I said hip hop in reference to like the lyrical direction. And we just kind of kept hanging on the word where it's a straight up pop song. But yeah.
No, I get where the elements, and there is still kind of that like beat to it. I mean, it's a catchy song. It's fun to like put on, but yeah, that video is a trip of just like, what is going on here? Who approved it? I mean, I'm partially wondering because I did go back and like freeze frame it a few times, like at the Barbie scene. I was like, I wonder if they set it in the toy store just to justify placing product placement of the dolls, because like if they were at like a jewelry store or something, it might not work. But you know, they could have set it in like a large department store, but maybe that was just too large. But if they done like a department store, you do have like a clothing section, a jewelry section, a kids section. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm wondering if, because I feel like the shot of their toys, like the Destiny's Child branded toy, was like right at the point, because they like to say their name in their songs, like Destiny's Child, like they do in Independent Women and other things. Like I feel like the toy, that shot comes like right at the moment when like that line of Destiny's Child like plays too. So I mean, it all, I mean, there was definitely thought behind this whole video. I'm not saying they just kind of just film stuff and saw what happens. I mean, it seemed very planned. It just was like, who thought of the plan? I really want to know.
Yeah, it could have been that carousel before, and then they were like, you know what? We got these dolls coming out. There's a toy store right over there. Let's just raid that. And I don't. Yeah. Who knows? But I
mean, yeah, it's a good time either way.
Did it make it feel like Christmas? Doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their costumes were cute. Yeah. But I mean, yeah.
I was traumatized by this album. Working in retail, when I was in high school for a year, I worked at Toys R Us, and then of course, notoriously in college, I've been talking recently about Circuit City. So Christmas music and I can be a bunch of friends. But when this came out, my store manager took the CD and put this in like the stereo system right by my department and wanted it on like repeat all day. And this is not a very long Christmas album. It runs like a 28 minutes. Like it's and over and over. And I got sick of it. And I would stop it and I would change it out with a different Christmas. He's like, where'd the Destiny's Child one go? I'm like, oh, I changed it. It played through a couple times. We don't take that one out. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing it? Like it was over and over. And there was one song on there that I don't know what the hell, what holiday spirit it was, but I believe the chorus went, I got your back on Christmas Day. I got your back on. I'm like, what kind of Christmas you going to?
I mean,
what kind of holiday spirit is that? I know things happen, but wow, someone wrote a song about that. Like, I got your back on Christmas Day. I was like, what, who goes into Christmas hoping you have someone's back? And so like, it's going down here, but
John McClane on Die Hard. That's who wants your back on Christmas Day.
That's who would my back on Christmas Day. But yeah, always weird. And I just got tired. And then next year he wanted that album played again. I'm like, you're not over here all day, man. It is obnoxious. If it was an hour album, cool. But it is 28 minutes. And and it is just so I'm sorry, Beyonce, but yeah. This is the first time I touch it for a long time.
Oh dear.
About this, but yeah, this one has terrorized me like crazy. But I'm not I had my mother, like, big Christmas music enthusiast, and I just cannot, like, when I worked at Toys R Us, it was over for, like, because I'm like, if I'm in the car, we're not listening to Christmas music. And and when I was in college too, I was like, do not play it in the house when I come home, because I've heard it enough. So yeah.
Well, that would do it for me. I'm trying to think if there's any Christmas music that did that for me. I mean, my go-to Christmas music now is for the longest time it was Celine Dion's Christmas album.
Okay.
And then and now, like, Kelly Clarkson has given us the world 2 glorious albums now. So I mean, I love both of those. And Jessica Simpson's I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus is one of my, like, favorite Christmas songs ever, because the dance break and the power ballad that becomes, I've never heard it as a power ballad until Jessica Simpson came in. And, like, yeah, I do, like, my own personal kick line when that song comes on.
I will say I like Ingrid Michaelson's Christmas contributions.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm very warm to her. And then I have been recommended recently apparently the Bare Naked Ladies have a good Christmas album.
Did not know that.
So apparently their Christmas album's really good. So I'm looking into maybe checking that one out. Like they do. I noticed they have the Grinch on there. They do the Grinch song. So that could be interesting.
That's fun.
But yeah. So that'll do it for this week on the show. Greg, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude, celebrating the Christmas week with me and the listeners. So before we head out, where can people keep up with you over the holidays?
Social media at the McGoonies, or you can go to my website, gregmcgoon.com. I respond to direct messages or Facebook or all of the above. Or you can go to my website and email me. People do that. And it works. So yeah, find me there and all my other stuff.
All right. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon4KUHD, written work on whysobblue.com. I'm going to be taking off a couple of weeks here for the holidays, but I will return soon enough. So until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day, Happy New Year, Kwanzaa. If you're celebrating something that's healthy and brings you peace of mind, happy one to you. And as always, stay film positive.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.